Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of Business 101. I hope that by now you're getting used to my style of teaching and the expectations that we have for this class. Each week, for the most part, is the same in terms of structure, so once you kind of catch on, hopefully it gets easier for you. We have discussions each week in which you're supposed to follow the guidelines for discussion posts and discuss the topic that we're discussing, respond to 2 other students, and if you do that and do that appropriately following the guidelines, it's a pretty straightforward thing to do. I know that a lot of you struggle with, I don't know what to say, I can't think of 150 words. Well, that's where your references and things come in. If you look at their textbook, what does it say about the subject? If you go to the American National Library online or Google Scholar, you look up the topic that we're talking about, you read something that the experts say about the subject, and you add that in to support your opinions or your position on a subject. And once you start doing that, 150 words is actually not very much at all when we're trying to discuss a subject that you're learning about. The discussion posts, in my mind, replace the discussions that we would have in a classroom setting. So you'll see that if you don't respond to 2 classmates as well as the post, your grade suffers for that. And if you don't hit the minimum word counts and references, likewise, your grade suffers for that, okay? I know a lot of times on online you want to try to hurry up and get done so you can go do something else. A lot of students think about what's the least that I can do to get past the class. And I understand that. I'm working on online education myself, and it's nice to get the work done and take a big sigh or a big break and wait for the next thing. But I just think, you know, we're paying a lot of money to take the class, and that you should be getting something out of it, increasing your education, increasing your learning. And I think I'd be doing you a disservice by just accepting anything that you turn in. So I do require that you have good discussions. I do require that you look up references and meet minimum word counts. It's not intended to give you a hard time. It's intended to give you a college education. So I hope you understand that and where I'm trying to come from with that. I know every teacher is different. Every teacher has different expectations. In addition to the discussions, as you can see, you have assignments to do every week, and likewise they come straight out of the book for the most part. And again, your grade is dependent on how much you discuss it. You don't need to write long papers, but you certainly need to do a good job of thoroughly discussing what the topic is in your assignments. And then likewise you see quizzes each week which come out of the textbooks as well. And again, I would like to say, don't waste your time and don't waste mine by just giving really short, quick answers. If it says define or discuss, that's what it means, define or discuss. And these things will help you get the best grade that you possibly can. So every week works basically the same until we get to week 8 when you have a research paper due, and then certainly week 10 when you have the final exam. So many of you now are getting your books. A few of you, I think, still trying to track them down and that kind of thing. So you should be catching up. You should be looking at the videos. You should be looking at the PowerPoints. That would help you keep up. And before long, we should be back on track with everybody. Now, as far as late work, I do have a late work policy I want to remind you about. If you're talking about discussions, there is no such thing as late on discussion. It has to be done the week that it's due. In terms of assignments and quizzes, you know, you can turn those in late. There's a late guideline, but generally with the books being late, I've given everybody a little bit more grace in terms of getting things turned in there, okay? So, with that said, we have a Thanksgiving week coming up, but for the most part, it's business as usual. So I hope you have a good week, have a good Thanksgiving, and I will see you online.